Hello students. The purpose of this video is to give you the notes in video format. Understand that you will be able to watch and review this content on your own at home and at your own pace. My name is Miss Merrill.
I'm Amanda Corley.
And I'm Miss Bradbury.
And I'm Shana. How about you?
The focus of our video is on biomolecules being organic molecules. Molecules containing carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, and oxygen. They make up living organisms. Examples are methane, and you all know what that is. Glucose, C6H12O6, are all organic molecules. Carbon is the central atom and will bond covalently because of the 4 valence electrons in the atom. Valence electrons which are in the outermost energy level, with a total of 6 electrons. An acronym to help remember this is CHONP, or CHOMP.
Alright, within these biomolecules are specific elements: carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, and oxygen. Lipids are made up of primarily carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. Their symbols on the periodic table are C, H, and O. Carbohydrates are made up of C, H, O, carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and they will always be in a 1-to-1 ratio, but there's lots of different combinations of those ratios. Proteins are C, H, O, and N, carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen, and then the last is nucleic acids, which have carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, and then phosphorus, CHONP.
Biomolecules are all made up of one basic molecule. We have proteins that are made up of amino acids, carbohydrates that are made up of sugars, lipids that are made up from fatty acids, and nucleic acids, DNA and RNA, which are made up of nucleotides. These are all macromolecules, which are basically large molecules. They can all be broken down back into their simple monomer one molecule form. Examples are like starches, which are very large. They can be broken down into sugars, which are polysaccharides. They can be broken down into monosaccharides, like glucose.
Carbohydrates can be simple or they can be complex. Simple sugars, an example would be a monosaccharide, mono meaning one, saccharide meaning sugar. We will focus on glucose, C6H12O6. The basic source of an organism's energy is quick energy. If you'll look as an example of the C6H12O6, for example, we have 6 carbon, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Another example of simple sugars is going to be a disaccharide, which di means 2, saccharide is sugar. Examples would be table sugar, glucose plus fructose, or maltose, which is glucose plus glucose, or lactose, which is glucose plus galactose. And here's an example of a sucrose sugar over here.
Complex sugars are also called polysaccharides. We call them mini sugars because they are sometimes literally thousands of them that are bonded together to form one big large molecule. The functions of polysaccharides are cells use them for energy. Normally sugars are used for very short-term energy, but these large complex sugars are used for long-term energy sometimes. They allow organisms to use it because they're stored in large chains. So those large chains have a lot of bonds. So as those bonds are broken, that releases a lot of energy. These are used in the cell walls for structure. In plants, they're stored in the form of cellulose to help maintain the support for the cell walls. Here is a picture of a starch molecule, which is a polysaccharide. Starch has literally thousands of glucoses or sugars that are bonded together to form one large molecule. Here's one simple glucose molecule. If you'll notice all of these right here, these are each glucoses that are bonded right here with this bond to form a large starch molecule.
Cellulose is a complex carbohydrate, and cellulose makes up the cell walls of plants. And once again, the cell walls are made up of thousands and thousands of glucose that are bonded together. Ruminants, which ruminants are animals that have 4 stomachs, like cattle and sheep, can digest both glucose and cellulose. Humans can digest starch, but not cellulose. Why do you think that is? When you come to class tomorrow, be prepared to discuss why humans can digest starch, but not cellulose.